Today I'm raising the rarest Pokémon from a tiny egg all the way to becoming a battle champion. I'm going to hatch it, train it hard, and push this little creature to its absolute physical limits. But Eevee is one of the weakest Pokémon when untrained, and one wrong move could end everything. This journey from helpless baby to tournament fighter is going to be the most intense training ever. I've got this small cream and tan spotted egg sitting on my kitchen counter under a heat lamp. The egg's been incubating for weeks, and this morning I finally saw the first tiny cracks starting to form. After waiting several more hours, the egg finally splits open, and out comes the tiniest Eevee ever. He's only 3 inches tall with brown eyes way too big for his head and the fluffiest collar. His bushy tail is almost as big as his entire body, and right now he can barely walk straight. He keeps stumbling over his own paws and falling down, but he's absolutely the most adorable thing. Baby Eevee looks incredibly cute, but he's completely helpless and needs constant care just to survive right now. So I'm building him the perfect multi-environment training habitat by grabbing a large glass terrarium from my workshop. I'm adding a forest section with real moss and a rocky mountain area for future climbing practice. Then I install a water feature for stamina training and even add a sandy desert corner for agility drills. I carefully arrange all the rocks, pour sand into corners, install a miniature waterfall, and plant real grass everywhere. I'm setting up tiny obstacles throughout, adding small climbing walls, and even placing miniature foam training dummies inside. This complete multi-zone habitat will transform him from a helpless baby into a powerful trained warrior. I gently place baby Eevee inside his new home, and he immediately starts exploring everything with endless curiosity. Those big pointed ears twitch at every single sound as he wobbles unsteadily through the tall grass section first. He sniffs curiously at the moss, carefully paws at the water feature, and even tries climbing a rock. He slides right back down the smooth rock surface, but his curiosity about everything is absolutely endless. Next, he discovers the sandy area and immediately starts digging with his tiny paws, sending sand flying everywhere wildly. Then he finds the water pool, dips one cautious paw in, and immediately jumps back from the cold temperature. This little guy is testing every single element and slowly learning about his new world environment. Now I need to figure out what he eats, so I've carefully prepared 5 different food options today. First, I try regular Pokémon kibble, and he sniffs it cautiously, takes one bite, but isn't super interested. Next, I offer some blue orange berries, and his eyes immediately light up with pure excitement and hunger. He absolutely devours 3 whole berries in just seconds, and the sweet blue juice drips from his small mouth. Then I test protein-rich cooked meat for muscle building, and he sniffs it cautiously before taking one small bite. I try energy supplements and special vitamins next, and he gives the powder one curious experimental lick. I offer some small mushrooms for recovery, and he nibbles one piece very slowly and thoughtfully. But he definitely prefers those sweet berries over everything else, so that's his favorite food established. Over the next few days, basic training begins, and he's still tiny but needs to build real strength. I introduce him to a foam training dummy, and at first he just stares completely confused. I tap the dummy twice to demonstrate how it works, and now he finally understands what to do. Eevee charges forward bravely and headbutts it hard, but bounces backward from the impact force, feeling a bit dizzy. He tries again using his small paws to swipe and practices over and over, getting slightly stronger each time. Then I take him outside to the backyard for his very first real challenge against a wild opponent. Wild Rattata suddenly appears near the fence, and Eevee's ears immediately stand straight up alert. The Rattata is twice his size and looks super aggressive, while Eevee crouches low with fear showing. The Rattata lunges first with speed, but Eevee barely dodges by jumping sideways at the last possible second. He counters quickly with a tackle, hitting the Rattata's side hard, and they tumble wrestling in the grass. Eevee uses his small size perfectly, slips under the Rattata, and delivers a perfect uppercut headbutt. The Rattata squeaks loudly and runs away defeated, and Eevee just won his very first victory. Over the next few weeks, intense training continues every single day, and I'm pushing Eevee to his limits. He practices his tackle attack repeatedly, slamming into training dummies with increasing power, are getting stronger and faster daily. He works on agility drills, weaving through obstacle courses I built, and he's moving faster every single day. I introduce climbing exercises where he scales the rocks in his habitat, building serious leg strength. Eevee is becoming incredibly strong, but I can tell he wants more, and he's absolutely determined to prove himself. Then I hear about a local Pokémon tournament for unevolved Pokémon only, and the prize is absolutely legendary. The grand prize is a Master Ball, literally the rarest and most valuable item in existence. But this tournament has defeated hundreds of trainers, and the final opponent is supposedly completely unbeatable by anyone. It's a champion Primeape that's won 15 consecutive tournaments straight and has never lost a single match ever. I sign him up immediately, and we have exactly 2 weeks to prepare for this incredible challenge. The training becomes absolutely brutal, and every morning I wake Eevee at dawn to start the hard work. We start with long endurance runs through dense forest trails with hills and obstacles, building his stamina up. Then comes strength training, where he pushes heavy rocks up steep hills, developing the explosive power he needs. He practices his tackle attack on reinforced heavy bags, and they swing wildly from the incredible force he generates. Speed drills come next, and I set up complex agility courses that he weaves through at absolutely incredible speeds. We train in pouring rain, in brutal heat, in complete darkness, and absolutely nothing stops us. Eevee battles wild Pokémon every single afternoon, taking on tougher and tougher opponents with each passing day steadily. He defeats a powerful Machop using superior technique and overcomes a tricky Haunter with pure determination and willpower. His fur gets scuffed and dirty, small scratches appear everywhere, but his eyes burn with intense, focused determination. Tournament day finally arrives, and the arena is absolutely massive with hundreds of excited spectators watching and cheering. Eevee steps into the large battle ring, still just 3 inches tall, but now radiating pure confidence and power. First opponent is a Pikachu with electric attacks flying everywhere, but Eevee dodges expertly and counters with perfect tackles. He wins in under 1 minute, and second opponent is a Vulpix, creating massive walls of fire. Eevee rushes straight through the flames fearlessly for an overwhelming victory, and third opponent is a confusing Psyduck. Confusion attacks distort Eevee's vision completely, but he fights through it, relying purely on instinct for another amazing win. The crowd is going absolutely wild because this tiny Eevee is dominating, and nobody expected this. Then comes the final match, and the champion Primeape enters looking enormous and covered in battle scars. Its muscles ripple with incredible power, and this thing is an absolute monster of a fighter. Eevee looks tiny in comparison, but he doesn't back down at all, and the battle begins immediately with intensity. Primeape attacks with devastating punches where each one could end the fight instantly, but Eevee dodges by mere inches. He uses his small size advantage, darting between the Primeape's legs, and lands quick hits before retreating safely. But Primeape is too experienced, anticipates Eevee's pattern, lands a massive punch, and sends him flying across arena. Eevee crashes into the wall hard, and the crowd gasps loudly, thinking this looks like the absolute end. He's not getting up and stays motionless, but then his leg suddenly twitches, showing consciousness. Eevee struggles hard to stand up with his body completely battered, but his fighting spirit absolutely isn't broken. He remembers every training session, every early morning, every painful defeat that made him stronger than before today. He charges one final time with everything he has, and Primeape throws its strongest punch yet directly at him. Eevee doesn't dodge but runs straight into it, uses the momentum, redirects the force, delivers perfect counter tackle. The impact is absolutely massive, and Primeape stumbles backward, falls hard, and doesn't get up. The referee counts to 10 seconds, Primeape is out cold, Eevee wins, and the crowd erupts in chaos. He started as a 3-inch baby that could barely walk without tripping over his own tiny paws. Now he's a tournament champion who defeated the previously undefeated Primeape against all odds and expectations completely. I gave him the best berries as reward, and the Master Ball is his trophy, proving everything. You don't need evolution, just heart and determination, and Eevee proved that today perfectly.